Her mom told me you'll never be good enough for my daughter. I said nothing. 2 months later, when they asked me to help with the wedding costs, I sent them a formal decline with an invoice for everything I'd already paid. Now they're accusing me of being petty. I'm David, 32, and I've just served the most expensive lesson in respect I've ever delivered. Cost me about $23, but watching entitled people face reality was worth every penny. My girlfriend Emma is 28. We've been together for 3 years and recently got engaged. She's amazing, but her family treats me like their personal ATM. Specifically her mother Patricia, who makes it her mission to remind me that I'm not worthy of her precious daughter while simultaneously expecting me to solve all their financial problems. I should mention that I do pretty well for myself. Software consulting cleared about $180K last year. Owned my place outright, solid investments. Emma makes decent money in marketing but helps her family out when she can. Emma's family is different. Her dad Mark works construction when he can find it. Patricia hasn't worked in 15 years. They rent a small place and live month to month. Whenever they have money troubles, guess who gets asked to help? And I helped because I love Emma and her family's struggles stress her out. But Patricia never missed a chance to put me down, usually right after asking for money. David, we really appreciate the help with rent, but you know money isn't everything in a relationship. I hope Emma finds someone who values her for more than just having a provider. Some men think writing checks is the same as caring. Real passive-aggressive masterclass stuff. Take my money, insult my character. The breaking point came 2 months ago at Emma's birthday dinner. I'd made reservations, bought her jewelry, paid for everyone's meal like always. Patricia was in rare form that night. David, this is lovely, but you know what Emma really needs? Someone who connects with her emotionally, not just financially. I nodded and kept eating. I mean, anyone can spend money. Real love is about understanding shared dreams, deeper connection. Emma looked uncomfortable but stayed quiet. She never really challenged her mom. Then Patricia delivered the line that changed everything. I'm sorry, David, but you'll just never be good enough for my daughter. I hope someday you understand that. The table went silent. Mark looked mortified. Emma turned red. I set down my fork, looked Patricia straight in the eye, and said, I understand perfectly. Then I went back to eating like nothing happened. The rest of dinner was awkward, but I didn't engage. Just finished my meal, paid the $180 check plus tip, and drove Emma home. That night Emma apologized for her mom. She doesn't mean it, David. She's just protective. Sure. I said, I get it. But something had shifted. Patricia wanted to play games about my worthiness. Fine. Let's see how worthy she finds me when I stopped being their financial safety net. See, here's what Patricia didn't seem to grasp. Over the past 2 years, every time Emma's family had a crisis, I was the solution. Emma would come to me stressed. My dad's truck broke down and he needs it for work. Me, how much for repairs? Emma, about $1,200, but they don't have it. Me, I'll handle it. This happened constantly, always through Emma. Always because she was worried about her family. Car repairs, medical bills, rent shortfalls, emergency expenses. Emma would ask, I would pay. Patricia would accept the help while making snide comments about my character. That night, after her not good enough speech, I went through my financial records for the past 2 years. I track everything for tax purposes, so the numbers were all there. The total made my stomach drop. $23,400. $23,400 I'd given Emma's family over 2 years. Money Patricia's never good enough boyfriend had provided, while she criticized everything about me except my willingness to solve their problems. The next morning I made a decision. The Bank of David was closed for business. Update 1. Emma didn't notice the change immediately because there wasn't a crisis right away. But about 3 weeks after Patricia's dinner speech, the test came. Emma approached me looking stressed. David, my mom needs help with a dental emergency. Her tooth is infected and she needs a root canal. That sounds painful. It's going to cost $1,800 and they don't have dental insurance. That's expensive. Emma waited for me to offer to pay. When I didn't, she looked confused. So could you maybe help them out? I know it's a lot, but she's in real pain. Emma, I think your mom should handle her own dental expenses, but they don't have $1,800 just sitting around. Then she should call the dentist about payment plans. Most offices offer them. David, what's wrong? You always help when my family needs it. I've been thinking about that. Maybe it's time your family figured out their own solutions instead of relying on me. Emma stared at me. Is this about what Mom said at dinner? This is about me realizing that constantly bailing out people who don't respect me isn't healthy. So you're going to let my mom suffer with a tooth infection? I'm going to let your mom handle her own medical expenses like an adult. Emma was quiet for a long time. She's going to be devastated. She'll figure it out. 2 weeks later, another test. Mark's truck needed new tires and brakes. $900 total. Emma came to me with the same stressed expression. David, Dad's truck is dangerous to drive. He needs it for work, but they can't afford the repairs. Have they tried financing through the tire shop? They won't qualify with their credit. Then maybe Mark should save up until he can afford the repairs. He can't work without the truck. Then he should prioritize vehicle maintenance in his budget. David, you're being unreasonable. You know they're struggling. I know they're struggling. I also know they've never learned to handle emergencies because I keep solving them. So that's it. You're just gonna watch my family fall apart. I'm going to watch your family learn to solve their own problems. Emma didn't speak to me for 2 days after that conversation. Update to the wedding demand. 6 weeks after I stopped being their personal bank, Emma came to me with exciting news. David, I found our dream wedding venue, the Riverside Manor. It's perfect. She showed me pictures. Beautiful place, definitely expensive. Looks nice. What's the cost? Venue and catering is $18,000. I know it's a lot, but it's our special day. It is a lot. How are you planning to pay for it? Well, I have about $4,000 saved. I was hoping you could cover the venue and I'll handle flowers and other stuff. Emma, have you talked to your parents about contributing? She looked uncomfortable. They said they'd help with whatever they can, but you know their situation. Right. So you want me to pay $18,000 for a venue? It's our wedding, David. I thought we'd handle big expenses together. We should definitely handle it together after your mom apologizes for telling me I'm not good enough for you. Emma's face went pale. You can't be serious. Dead serious. Your mom spent 2 years taking my money while insulting me, then she told me I'll never be good enough for her daughter. Now she wants me to fund the wedding. That's not fair. Mom was just being protective. Protective people don't take money from people they think are inadequate. David, you're being petty. I'm being logical. If I'm not good enough for your family, I'm certainly not good enough to bankroll your family. Emma tried arguing, but I held firm. No apology from Patricia. No wedding funding from me. 3 weeks later, desperation set in. Emma came home from her parents' house looking defeated. David, we need to seriously discuss the wedding budget. What about it? I've been working the numbers and we can't make it work. Even with my savings and what my parents can contribute, we're short about $12,000. Have you considered a less expensive venue? I don't want a less expensive venue. I want the wedding I've been planning. Then you need to figure out how to afford it. How am I supposed to come up with $12,000? The same way other people do, save, work extra hours, ask relatives, take out a loan. David, this is our wedding. Why are you making this so difficult? I'm not making anything difficult. I'm just not automatically solving your family's financial problems anymore. That weekend, Emma had a long conversation with her parents. She came back looking frustrated and angry. My parents think you're being childish and vindictive. Your parents have a lot of opinions for people who can't afford their own daughter's wedding. Mom says you're holding money over our heads to control us. Your mom has been holding her opinion of me over my head to control me for 2 years. Turnabout is fair play. Update 3. The family meeting. A month later, Emma asked me to come to dinner at her parents' house, said they wanted to discuss the wedding and clear the air. I agreed, mostly curious what kind of damage control Patricia would attempt. The dinner was tense from the start. Patricia had clearly been coached to be civil, but you could see it killing her. David, thank you for coming. I think we should discuss the wedding situation. What about it? Mark jumped in. We've been talking and we think maybe we got off on the wrong foot. How so? Patricia's fake smile was painful to watch. I may have said some things that came across harshly. I was just concerned about Emma's happiness. What things specifically? Well, about your relationship. I might have expressed my concerns poorly. I waited. She wasn't going to say the actual words. Mrs. Patterson, are you apologizing for telling me I'll never be good enough for your daughter? I'm saying I may have been too blunt in expressing my concerns. Classic non-apology. She wasn't sorry for what she said. Just sorry it caused problems. I see. And what does this have to do with the wedding? Emma jumped in. We're hoping you might reconsider helping with the venue costs. Now that Mom has apologized, Patricia added with that fake smile, but she didn't apologize. She said she was too blunt. That's not the same thing. Mark looked uncomfortable. David, we're just asking for help with our daughter's wedding. The daughter I'm apparently not good enough for. Patricia's smile cracked. I never said you weren't good enough. You said, and I quote, you'll never be good enough for my daughter. I was emotional. You were honest, and now you want the person who's not good enough for your daughter to pay for a wedding. The table went quiet. Cannot try it again. David, can't we just move past this for our future? Our future depends on your family treating me with basic respect, something they've struggled with despite taking my money for 2 years. Patricia looked confused. What money? I smiled. I'm glad you asked. Update for the invoice. I spent the next week putting together my response. Use the same professional software I use for client proposals, proper letterhead formatting, everything. I hand-delivered it the following Saturday morning. Emma opened the door looking hopeful. David, did you reconsider about the wedding? I did. I brought my formal response. I handed her the folder. She opened it and her expression went from excited to confused to horrified. What is this? My response to your family's request for wedding funding. Patricia and Mark came to see what was happening. Patricia grabbed the document and started reading aloud. Dear Patterson family, thank you for your request regarding financial assistance for Emma and David's wedding. After careful consideration, I must respectfully decline to provide additional funding. She looked up confused. Additional funding. Keep reading, Mom, Emma said weakly. Patricia continued. However, I wanted to provide a comprehensive accounting of contributions I have already made to your family over the past 2 years. What followed was a detailed invoice. Every payment Emma had asked me to make, organized by category with dates and amounts. Emergency vehicle repairs $3,400. Medical and dental expenses $2,800. Rent and housing assistance $400 and $200. Home repairs and maintenance $100. Family vacation contributions $1,900. Holiday and birthday expenses $1,200. Miscellaneous emergencies $3,800. Total previous contributions $23,400. The document continued. Given Mrs. Patterson's stated position that I will never be good enough for her daughter, I believe it would be inappropriate for someone of my insufficient quality to contribute further to family expenses. The letter concluded previous contributions are considered gifts and no repayment is expected. However, any future financial requests will be declined unless preceded by a genuine apology acknowledging the inappropriate nature of previous statements about my character and worthiness. Patricia's face cycled through multiple shades of red while she read. This is petty and vindictive. This is documented fact. Every expense represents something Emma asked me to help with because your family couldn't handle it. Mark was staring at the numbers. $23,000. $23,400 over 2 years. I have receipts for everything. Emma looked sick. David, you can't be serious with this. Completely serious. Your mom wanted to know if I was good enough for you. Turns out I was good enough to solve your family's problems for 2 years. Patricia found her voice. You're holding money over our heads. I'm holding nothing over anyone's head. I'm declining to provide additional funding and explaining why. This is financial manipulation. This is me stopping financial manipulation. You've been taking my money while insulting my character for 2 years. Mark was still processing the numbers. Emma asked you for all this. Every penny. Emergency after emergency, crisis after crisis. Emma would ask, I would pay. Your wife would criticize me. Emma's voice was shaky. I didn't realize it was this much. That's because you never had to track it. You just knew problems got solved. Patricia was getting angrier. So you're going to sabotage Emma's wedding because your feelings got hurt? I'm not sabotaging anything. I'm just not funding it. You're welcome to pay for your daughter's dream wedding yourselves. We can't afford an $18,000 venue. Then maybe Emma should choose a venue you can afford instead of expecting her not good enough boyfriend to pay for it. The silence stretched forever. Final update. That was 3 weeks ago. The aftermath has been everything I expected. Emma spent the week trying to get me to change my mind. Tears, arguments, guilt trips about ruining her dream wedding. I stayed firm. Week 2 brought desperation. Emma started researching cheaper venues, smaller guest lists, budget, everything. Turns out when you remove a $12,000 annual subsidy, wedding planning gets complicated. Patricia tried calling me directly, leaving voicemails about how I was destroying her daughter's happiness and being vindictive over one comment. One comment. Right. Mark showed up at my office yesterday. That surprised me. David, can we talk? I let him into my office. I owe you an apology. I had no idea how much you'd been helping us. Emma never told you. She'd just say things got handled or worked out. I didn't ask for details. Things got worked out because I wrote checks. Mark nodded. Patricia's pride is hurt. She's not used to being called out. Her pride isn't my responsibility. No. But Emma's happiness matters to you. Right. Absolutely. Which is why I'm not enabling her family's disrespect anymore. What would it take for you to reconsider? A real apology from Patricia. Not sorry my feelings got hurt. Sorry for what she said and acknowledgement that she was wrong. And if she does that, then we can discuss contributing to the wedding, but the pattern of constant financial requests needs to stop. Mark left looking thoughtful. 2 days later, Emma came over looking exhausted. David, I need to ask you something honestly. Okay. Are you actually going to marry me? That depends. On what? On whether you're ready to be married to me or to your family's expectations of me. What does that mean? It means your mom spent 2 years insulting me while I funded your family's emergencies. You never once defended me. I tried to keep the peace. You chose your family's comfort over my dignity. That's a problem. Emma was quiet for a long time. What if Mom really apologizes? Then we move forward. But Emma, this pattern has to change. I'm not going to be your family's emergency fund while getting treated like garbage. And if she doesn't, then you have a choice to make. Yesterday, Emma texted that Patricia wants to meet with me. Just the two of us. We'll see if 2 years of emergency funding and one detailed invoice taught her anything about my actual worth. The wedding is supposed to be in 4 months. At this rate, it's going to be a much smaller affair than Emma originally planned, but at least it'll be fulfilled by people who think the groom deserves basic respect. Thanks for following along. Sometimes people need to see exactly what they're throwing away before they appreciate what they had.